Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. And as you can see, I have a guest, and I have my very good friend Tony from London on the show again. Hi, Tony. How are
Hi,
you?
Alex. I'm good, mate. Doing well. How you doing?
Fine, thanks, mate. How's the weather in London?
It's getting colder. I had my little heater thing over there on last night and shut all the windows. So yeah, it's definitely getting cold the last couple of days. And I think up north,
Yes,
it was cold.
I remember this time, November, December, especially evenings, nights, gets a little bit
Yeah,
cold.
yeah. And it's getting darker about 5 p.m.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
so
remember that. Yes.
yeah, coming up
Um,
to Christmas.
no, I like winter. It's a preference, I guess. Uh, windy days and that, and you know.
Yeah,
Brings back memories.
yeah,
So, mate, we were talking before recording, and when we have the celebration show, which, by the way, beautiful show. It's so organic.
yeah,
I reached out to a few people. Tony from Mexico replied. Joel replied. So, and really nice memories
yeah,
of how we started, how you and I started, and everything like that. And I didn't mention it on the show, but it came later after recording that you were with Joel on the 16th of September, Joel and Pat, and then the next week, the 23rd, 22nd, we recorded the 23rd. So a week later, basically, you were on my show. So
okay.
I remember I reached out, or I maybe even asked Pat and Joel for your email. That's how we got together. But yes, you were first there, and you then with me, because I remember now during that summer of 2022, I was talking to you in the comments like, hey, Tony, you should be on the show with Pat, and you were
That's right.
thinking about it.
Yeah, I didn't know you then, did I? I only knew you through the comments.
Yeah, well, we did chat, and by
Yeah,
the way, Pat made a little mistake there. Your username was Truth 15 Light, but the 15 was is Light, so it was basically Truth
yeah.
is Light. But he
That's
said
what I put it as.
True Light 15. He made a little mistake there, but
Yeah,
great memories, mate. Great memories. I mean, the
yeah,
show could have gone for 3 hours and then showing chats with Adam and Moxie. Yes, I know.
yeah,
We were very specific. Basically, it's how it started and how you and I started, and
yeah.
Pat and Joel and that kind of stuff. But okay, we're talking, so we go straight to the point of this show you want to make about if this is a dream, who are we?
Yeah,
So I was telling you that maybe we could also give it these videos I've been getting out of the work of Mexican doctor Jacobo Greenberg, who disappeared on December the 8th, 1994. So we are 30 years into that. But that I feel his work on this concept of consciousness is amazing. It's amazing. It's
sure.
amazing.
Yeah,
I also would like to invite you. I'm going to send you the link because it's going to be on the Spanish channel. There's this person from Guadalajara, Mexico, that already had the show about the unity consciousness and also amazing deep stuff. But
yeah,
you're gonna have to turn the subtitles for that one. And I'm gonna do a show where if he wants to come back, I wanna do a show specifically on the work of Dr. Jacobo Greenberg.
yeah,
So, hey, without further ado, it is a dream, who are we?
sure. Yeah, this came to me just out of the blue. I thought, yeah, that sounds good. And it's kind of like it is tying in with Jacobo Greenberg, consciousness, unified field, source. So I haven't prepared anything as usual. I just turn up cold and
That's the best way.
see what happens. So now you've given me that to work with. I think the only thing I can start on is if this is a dream, who are we? Therefore, who is the dreamer? There's a few questions to kind of sort of get definitions, to sort of itemize the definitions. And one is who is the dreamer? Therefore, who are we? But I would put it as, I'll just jump right in. I think it's consciousness, and the source is consciousness, pure, infinite, empty consciousness, and it holds all manifestation. It holds all matter. So everything physical. It's like an ocean with fish, octopus, sharks, plankton, algae, coral, tropical, marine, freshwater. Everything's in the ocean, but the consciousness is the water. And it's like that analogy is the space where we are, that's the consciousness in the space. So infinite space but it's got the quality of awareness to it. It's aware space, and everything else is inside, is held in it. So, for example, if I had my hand is held in consciousness, but it's separate from consciousness. But like a light shining through my hand, the light can see what's inside the bones, the fingers, the blood, the muscles through the hand, and it knows what the hand is doing because the space is aware. But I'm only an object in this consciousness, as is a chair, a table, people, animals, birds. Everything is an object in this space of awareness. And it's kind of, I've been reading Advaita, which is non-duality, but I always go my own way. I'll read it, but I don't fully agree with it all. But that's where I'm at. And I think the emptiness, the infinite space that is aware, that's the source. And everything else is an object in it. So the source would be the emptiness, aware emptiness, and we would be objects in it, like a puppet, with a puppet master. But we're kind of, I'm not sure if we run on consciousness or we're independent of it. But consciousness sees through us. It sees what we do. And so there's a kind of a baseline there to work with. I don't know what you make of that.
It's very deep stuff, mate.
It is deep, yeah.
I hope we don't lose you, audience. Please stay with us. I think this aligns a lot with the work of Dr. Jacobo Greenberg, and I think the most amazing part of his story was as a scientist, because some people, I think, have wrongly defined him as a psychologist. That's one of the few things he was. He was a physicist and other things. He was a scientist. He believed in the scientific method. But then was amazed with the work, particularly of a Mexican shaman called Pachita, that there are testimonies. I'm not saying I was not there. I didn't see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Will make it my truth. I could confirm it if I saw it. But the stories are Pachita will create organs, will fix organs out of thin air, will take you a bad lung and create a new one for you. I know this is very older stuff.
Yeah.
And Dr. Greenberg wanted to prove this scientifically, okay? And
Sure.
that's when consciousness is very interesting, mate, because I do believe we can tap into that, and Pachita tapped into that. When you tap into the infinite consciousness, you're tapping into source. I don't see it as something different.
No.
You are tapping in what is called the unity consciousness, which is the unit. The key word there is unity, okay? The oneness, the everything. We're all part of that.
Yeah.
And you have the power of a creator. So yes, you can create organs. Yes, you can travel through time. Yes, you can travel through dimensions, which, by the way, is what I think happened to Dr. Jacobo Greenberg. He dissolved out of thin air and went into another dimension willingly because he was able, same as Pachita, to tap into this consciousness and do these kind of things. What does it happen when you tap into this consciousness and, for example, you want to destroy or control? Well, I believe what is called gods or semi-gods, because I don't believe they're really gods. I believe they understood the power of going into the everything, into the consciousness, into the emptiness, which is the same thing, mate. I see it as, and consciously being able to control others, okay? And that's what gave them the power to create these miracles, same as Pachita, but Pachita did it for a good reason. She saved people, okay? So I believe these gods we hear from all the way back in history, they were able to tap into that and create these miracles this way to control for a negative reason, okay?
Yeah.
So for me, the beautiful part is, this is what you and I have been talking for years, mate. The inner ring, remember, the heart resonator going inside, the voice within you. Dr. Jacobo Greenberg had this beautiful saying, you have all the wisdom of all the universe. It's inside you. It's the voice that is talking to you inside you. It's the voice to the connection of the consciousness, okay?
Yeah.
But who is the middleman there that is interfering? The brain.
Of course.
The brain, which, by the way, before recording, it's a good opportunity to say the brain is a beautiful tool. it is the antenna that will connect us there. But same as a computer, it can do a job, can be perfect, but think of a computer with a virus. So it goes from a tool to a weapon.
Yes.
So I think our brains, when of course they were going to control our brains because it's our connection, our physical antenna, our way. Of course, I know it. It works that way. That's why Dr. Jacobo Greenberg said the same connections in the brain are the same connections in the, he called it the lattice. Just the
Right.
word is the consciousness, is source, is the everything. Okay.
Right.
For me, it's just a word. It's everything.
Yeah.
But saying the same connections in the brain, the way it works is the same as in the lattice, which is the word he used. Okay.
Yeah.
If you control the brain, you control the connections. If you control the brain, you control, for example, not being able to connect and thinking
Yeah.
you're a separate thing.
Yes.
Okay. So that's when your mind becomes a weapon. That's when your mind becomes
Yeah.
the enemy within. Remember, showing the enemy within.
That's right.
So sending it back to you.
Yeah.
How do we achieve this connection to the dream? Okay. How do we, same as, you probably have had this experience. I think it's quite common in a way that you're in a dream and you know you're dreaming. Have you had that? Probably as
I may
younger.
have. I can't remember it. Yeah. I've had some odd dreams, but I'm not sure about lucid dreaming, is what you're saying.
It's kind of lucid dreaming, but the dream that you know you're dreaming, and also you're talking to others and say, I know I'm in a dream, but so that for me was the key of Dr. Jacobo Greenberg work, that when you consciously understand that, and you start deprogramming your brain, because that takes a lot to remove all the limiting beliefs and connections in your brain that keep you suppressed.
Yeah.
That's when you tap. And he had another beautiful saying: the more you know about yourself, the more you listen to the voice within, the freer you are, the more free you are.
Yes.
He's totally right. Freedom is not out there. Freedom is within.
Oh, of course. That's what I believe. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Great point. How do we connect to source and access that power, that intelligence? I think is what you're asking. I would say the Buddhists use a term. There was a what do they call it? A show in London years and years ago by the Buddhists, and they came over. I think it was 1992, and they had a slogan. It was silence and stillness. That was the name of the show. Silence and stillness. And I walked past. It was at the Royal Academy. I looked at it and it just struck me. I thought, yeah. And it was a Buddhist sort of visit, teaching the West about the Buddhist ways. And I started taking up Buddhism at the time, reading up about it. And it was silence and stillness. And I started meditating from then. And I think when you access the source, you do use silence and stillness. I think that's your access point. So the more active you are physically, the less connection you have. And the more active in the mind you are, too much thoughts, the less connection you have. So when you still the mind and still the body, and you like sit still and in peace, I think that's like you're tuning into source. You're kind of meeting its frequency. So I would say that's where the wisdom comes from, the intelligence, through stillness and silence, and just being vacant, being an empty vessel, so to speak, for it. And I think that's why I came to this show empty. Like I said earlier, I haven't prepared anything. I'm just going to see what happens and go with it. And I love working like that because I don't have any baggage to bring. I'm empty, and that's how I work. I'm empty, and I think that's the reason some people have problems in life, because they've got too much of an agenda. They've got too much. I'm right. I've got the storyline. I've got this storyline, and I'm going to bring this to the table, and I'm going to argue my case and prove them wrong. And that's a combative way of doing it, rather than, well, I'm going to come to the table, I'm going to be empty, and I'm going to be open to hear and and see what's going on, and not to prove myself right. And I think that's the way you allow the intelligence to come through, when you don't have anything upstairs to bring to the table, when you're just open vessel. open and receptive to life, and then the source comes through. That's what I believe. So yeah, that's where I'd put it, mate. Stillness and silence, and just being open and empty, and that's how it comes through. I think that's you're allowing it. You're leaving the door open for it. What do you make of that?
Oh, amazing, mate. And yes, I agree completely. And I before this show, the show previous is with Vincent Tolman from Las Vegas, US. He was clinically dead for more than an hour, so he had what is called a near-death experience that changed his life. And during the show, we talk about contemplation, okay, and how just being still, mate, as you say, it's a little bit different than meditation, which is more. Remember, we had this both ways of meditating, clearing your mind, the Zen state. You see, the Buddha killed him. That's empty mind, emptiness.
Yeah,
Or how Joel, for example, used to say that he works on controlling his thoughts, on achieving, I believe it's called an alpha state or something like that. I don't know the technicality, but something like
yeah,
that. But contemplation, mate, is the stillness of just existing.
yes,
Not worrying about your phone, not worrying about what time it is, not worrying of if you have thoughts or not, just being there. And I think exactly what you're saying is what truly connects you. And that's
Mm.
what these yogis and advanced, I don't call them advancement because I think we all have the same possibilities, okay?
yeah,
I've been sharing an analogy lately that is like the volume control on your phone. You set it to mute, it's not gonna rain, okay?
yeah,
You set it to the maximum, it's gonna be loud. So
yeah,
you decide how these air quotes advancement or enlightenments, you decide how big or
yeah,
small they are.
yeah,
There are people that have everything on mute. They are
yeah.
totally into the material. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not
No,
saying they're bad persons. They have everything on mute. Everything means the material world, the
yeah,
financial wealth, that eternal competition to have more, the enjoyment. Remember when we had the shows on pleasures and you were out there in the street?
yeah.
You were what in Marylebone or where you were? Or,
Savile Row
yeah,
appeal.
a street with Rolex stores, and it was very good for that
Okay,
show. I remember. But
yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking about pleasures and just indulging the pleasures. You're into that. You are so far away from contemplation, from emptiness, from stillness.
yeah,
You're basically polar opposites, 180 degrees.
yeah,
There's something wrong with that? No. If that's what you want, that's what you want. If that's what you need, that's what you need.
yeah,
We're just saying that sometimes I see that a lot, and it kind of upsets me or sets me off and say, oh, it's because, and even people saying, oh, it's because I have a gift. No, we don't have gifts. Okay,
mm,
we all have it. It's just you developed it. That's great. Okay.
yeah,
And when it's intuitively, like for example, I've shared, I get information, I don't know where it's coming from. It's called clary knowledge or something like that, or something like that you wake up and there's information there. I don't know how I developed that.
no,
I know that I've listened to my intuition since I was a boy. Okay. And that lately, the last 5 years, I said, I'm going with my intuition. Okay. I really want to listen to the voice within.
yeah,
Okay. And sometimes it's yes, it's no, it's nothing, it's emptiness, it's
yeah,
silence. That's the response. But we
yeah,
want drama, we want information, we want explanations, we want it to make it sense.
yes,
And for me, the connection to the everything, the connection to the consciousness is stop those beliefs that everything has an explanation. And that's the beautiful leap, Dr. Greenberg, that as a scientist, he left that mate and
yeah,
said, I cannot explain this, but I know it exists. I know Pachita is for real. I know there were other Mexican they were controlling the weather, mate, some ways, some power. On that one, there are more implications because that you're affecting other people and that, but they were able to
yeah,
tap into the weather and, for example, make it rain.
sure. Mystics.
Shamans that
Yeah,
through the consciousness, they were able to control their environment and
yeah,
make it rain. Okay. There's no possibility to explain that.
no.
The Neil deGrasse Tyson, that let's take it to a lab and no, Neil, it's not gonna work. I mean, it's not, and if you that's the thing with science and the scientific method, that It's so basic. They don't see it, but it's so basic. The things you can reproduce are basic stuff. It's 2
Yeah.
plus 2 equals 4. That's it.
Yeah.
Those type
Yeah.
of things. If you heat water to 100 degrees, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, it's gonna boil. Yes, I agree. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
that kind of
Surface.
stuff is science. Okay.
Yeah. It's
This
surface, isn't it?
we're talking of the wisdom of all the universes in you. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
It's unimaginable.
That's it.
We cannot dimension it, we cannot understand it, we can just embrace it. Remember your beautiful metaphor or saying that you're out there in the rock in the ocean, that you
Yeah.
let yourself go to the immensity of the ocean. You don't know where you're going, you don't know when you're going to get there. You cannot explain it, but you're fine.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Stay present. Just surf the waves. Just go. Yeah. And that ocean analogy, mate, I was thinking this as you were saying in the analogy before you said it, that science is like surface. It's like the surface of the ocean, the waves, all the little waves, billions of waves, and it's activity, movement, you know. Yet I think the source is the deep, deep ocean, the depths of the ocean. It's got all the wisdom, all the intelligence, all the power right at the depths of the ocean. That's the stillness. And science is at the top on the little waves trying to figure out the ocean underneath. And it's the result of the ocean. It's not it can't do anything more than it's given. It's activity. And to know the ocean depths, the source, you have to be in tune with it and be still, like the ocean is. And they think being active is going to get them and it's not. You can't do it that way. I can't see it being activity is the opposite of what you should be doing. Just let it come through. Just let the intelligence. I think Einstein was famous for walking in his garden. Apparently, he walked in his garden, done gardening for a while, and his best ideas came to him. I don't, agree with Einstein per se, but his method was that he was in stillness and contemplative gardening, and then his best ideas came. So yeah, I think this activity is just thrashing around on the surface, making more waves. It's not giving you any intelligence or anything substantial. So yeah, I would say be in tune with source, which I believe is silence and stillness, and let the Neil deGrasse Tysons do their thing, and just watch them carry on, because I know they're going the wrong way.
Good thing that he doesn't watch us, because I've been extremely, I don't know, he's for me the poster boy of science. And as you say,
Yeah.
I think you got it completely when you say it's like the surface. And also think how little the surface is compared to the whole ocean. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's like an iceberg, like a huge pyramid. Imagine in the ocean, a mountain in the ocean, and you see
Yeah.
the tip. And you
That's
say,
it.
wow, I see a tip. Oh, wow, the tip, And then you get close and you say, wow, this is huge. That's science compares to wisdom, compared to the processes of the universe we don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think, again, this is the most amazing thing of Dr. Jacobo Greenberg. He went and met these people trying to be a Neil deGrasse Tyson, trying to say there has to be an explanation, or it's BS, or it's fake.
Yeah.
Because most people think that Pachitas, there's an explanation. It's they call it the placebo effect, or it's basically like a joke, like I'm not finding the word, like it's a setup, a hoax. Yes, it's a setup, because I believe there are hoaxes. The same kind of there was one, I think, in the Philippines, very well known. He charged a lot of money. I believe Pachita didn't really care about that. But the one in the Philippines charged a lot of money. He would take sick patients and he will put some ham and stuff like that in his hands, hidden, and he will start pushing, and then this kind of weird thing will come out, and oh my God, and it was all a hoax.
Oh no.
Okay, so he went like a skeptic, okay, like a Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let's prove this scientifically.
Yeah.
And the huge leap he made was saying, this cannot be explained, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
This cannot be explained rationally or scientifically or through a scientific method, but that doesn't mean these people are tapping into something.
Yeah.
And he went all the way. They're tapping into source. Okay. I remember a neighbor, okay, of mine. Again, this is a direct testimony. Okay. I
Yeah.
totally believe it. He said he was into source healing. Okay. And
Okay.
he will explain it to me that he will connect somehow to source. We call it in Spanish la fuente. La fuente is source in English. Okay.
Okay.
The fountain, or what is source, it means source, basically what you
Yeah.
and I know as source. He will tap into that.
Mm.
And first of all, he will make a connection in saying this is with the most benevolent intention. Okay. This is
Yeah.
not, he didn't charge, by the way.
Yeah.
When he was doing this, he wouldn't charge money.
Good sign.
And then some cases could be solved, same as Pachita, and some cases you will get the message. No, it's not.
Good. Yeah.
We shouldn't do something about it. This is supposed to be this way. This
Yeah.
person wants it like that.
Yeah.
This is the life mission or the life this person wants. We cannot interfere with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, that is not the end. Even if a person eventually died, we know,
Yeah.
you and I know that, and he knows that
That's it.
is not the end.
Yeah.
But when it did happen, he will see everything going on, and it's all unexplainable. He will
Yeah.
see how the operation will be. He will be like a Pachita. Okay, it's just that he was not well known. Okay,
Yeah.
and not documented. Pachita became famous because of Dr. Greenberg. They worked together. Okay,
Yeah.
and but the leap of him was saying, I cannot explain this. I have the humility to accept it. I need to go beyond the scientific method.
Yeah.
So he went and understood, in my opinion, that when we connect with good intention to the everything,
Yeah.
then we're basically limitless. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why also when you detach all the detachments, because he was very attached to his daughter, and they say it's impossible that he left consciously because he was not. You detach. You understand that doesn't mean you don't love someone. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember someone saying to me a long time ago, if you truly love something or someone, you let it go.
Yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
Okay. Because if you really want it close to you, it's maybe you need it. Maybe
It's selfish.
but you're being selfish.
Yeah.
If
I get
someone that you love comes and says, I'm leaving, we're not seeing each other again, you give them a hug and you say, I wish you the best.
Yeah.
You let them go. You don't say, don't leave, I cannot live without you. That's being selfish, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the Spanish channel, I've been getting a lot of collaborations on that, on reincarnation, on that. Kind of become kind of feel that because I talk about that a lot. And I cannot explain it because their lives, and we got a lot of questions. I'm gonna see my mother again. Yes, but let them go.
Yeah.
Let them, they're not here anymore. Let them go. You
Yeah.
love them. And they love you, but let
Yeah.
them go. Okay.
Yes.
Because
They can't see the bigger picture.
sorry?
You know, they can't see the bigger picture.
Yes, they cannot. Because I cannot go on without them, because I miss them every day, because I let them go.
Yeah.
If you love something, let it go. I'm not saying they don't love their mothers or fathers. It's just the attachment, mate.
Yeah.
This reality makes us very attached to a lot of things.
Yeah.
When you detach, you become really powerful.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Oh yeah. It completely makes sense, mate. I mean, Jacobo Grimberg, he found something that most scientists, I wouldn't say a good proportion of scientists, would look at that and go, I can't understand it. It must be rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, but this man had integrity. He had integrity enough to say, look, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm not going to dismiss it and mock it and shoo it under the carpet because I can't explain it. So it's happening. I'm going to just have an open mind. I'm going to just see what I can just watch. I just don't know at the moment. And that's being good, open-minded about it and looking at life the way it should be looked at with a openness and well, it's possible. It may be possible. It happened. It's real. Rather than we don't fit into my little box, so it doesn't exist. It's not the right way to go about it. And also with source, it's kind of like if you have an openness about you to people and life, you don't attach to anyone or anything too much, because there's an ease about you. There's a relaxed ease with you, because you know everything is as it's meant to be. Source made it this way, and people are the way they are, and I can't change anything, and that's freedom. I'm just a character in the movie. So being aware of that you cannot change anything, is a kind of freedom. And only when you let go do you realize the most wisest, intelligent source is in charge, is driving the car. You're now in the best hands, because you've given up your ideas and your fixation on being right. You now have full capacity working for you. And it's hard for the mind to understand. It can't understand it. The mind cannot get a handle on, but I need to control this. I need to know what's going on. I need to figure it out. I don't feel safe. Yeah, but you don't feel safe because you keep thinking. It's the thinking that makes you feel unsafe, fearful. Because you think too much, you're looking at all the dangers as well, and that's making your mind paranoid and fearful. Slow the thinking down, and be more present. Come into the senses, the five senses. That will, drain the energy from the mind, the attention from the mind into the senses, and you won't think so much. Therefore, you'll feel more ease. You'll feel more at ease. It's like this again. It's like the mind. That's the mind. All the attention's in the head. Put it in the body. Put it in the five senses, and live like that with an empty head. And that is allowing source to come in, and source can drive. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah, people don't think, feel, as Bruce Lee said. Don't think, feel. And it's just a case of letting go and accepting the present moment, and becoming friends with it, becoming in tune with it. And you don't need to be dead still, walk like a robot. You don't have to, you still live your life, but you're more in tune with it. You're not buffering up against it. You're not banging against the sides of life all the time. You're accepting, you're seeing what is and responding in proportion. And that's allowing source to come through. That's what I believe is guiding us when we stop thinking so much. So yeah, it's still on track. We're still on track. So I think source is who we are, answering our title. And us as individuals, we are condensed source, like ice cubes in an ocean. We're all ice cubes that have been condensed consciousness, and source is living through us as these ice cubes. So the more you think, the denser the ice cube becomes, the more frozen you become, the more set in your ways. So just relax, and then you thaw out, and you let source influence you more. That's some sort of analogy there, but yeah, I think it's a tug of war between thinking and being, and being allows source to influence you and make life easier. So yeah, I think we are source. We just got to get back there.
Yes,
in one way.
that's our
Yeah.
destiny, mate. Beautiful
Yeah.
said. And
Thank
going
you.
back to your beautiful analogy or beautiful metaphor, however you want to call it, I think people that are there in the rock, they feel they're in control. Because they're in the
Yes.
rock, in the safety of the rock, and bringing that analogy into real life is the people that maybe have financial freedom or financial security. Maybe their health is okay, so they're grabbing to the rock, thinking that's what they really need. And when they see other people out there floating and smiling and that's the real freedom, letting go, okay?
Yeah.
Trusting the universal process. So going back to the original subject we started the show with, are we in a dream? I think we are, but the dream is that we're little, that we're these limited beings that are having this limited life, that this our only existence, that we need to compete within each other, that being successful at the end is having a lot of money, a lot of wealth, a lot of power. Okay. Because that's why people, when they're at the end of their life, if their life really didn't have a purpose, mate, that's when it gets really rough. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case of the gentleman that contacted me out there in Beachwood through email, that he said, I have stage 4 cancer. I saw your show of should I go into the light? Should I not go into the light? I need information right now. I'm very upset. All the people have their health. I don't have it. It's not fair.
Mhm.
I said, the first thing you need to do is relax.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
extremely upset. You're out there in the rock and you're grabbing it. Okay, like,
Yeah.
let yourself go. Whatever's
Yes.
going to happen is going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
And the only advice I can give you is follow your heart, follow your inner voice.
Exactly. Perfect.
There's
Yeah.
a very good chance you're going to pass away soon. 4-stage cancer. I don't recall. I think it was the liver or something like that. Probably he
Yeah.
lived a few more months. Let yourself go. I
Yeah.
hope I made a point. I really
Yeah.
made a point that you have to let yourself go. Open your heart. Just go
Yeah.
there with the most peace you can find. Okay.
Yeah. I
And
think you
you're gonna
helped.
be fine. I hope so, yes. But
Yeah.
one thing I know is he was extremely upset. And when you pass that upset, you're setting yourself up. I'm not saying you're gonna be eternally doomed or no, I'm just
No.
saying same in life, mate.
Yeah.
Even people that have a lot of money, mate,
Yeah.
they're so upset all the time.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
watching a series the other day on petroleum. It's a new series. It's quite interesting, quite entertaining. It's okay. It's not really interesting. It's neutral. Okay. It's like watching a
Yeah.
soccer match.
Yeah.
But the person has a lot of money, mate. He's into a petroleum business out there in Texas, US. And they're calling him all the time. He's missing family time. He was missing his daughter race out there. She was winning and she was on the phone all the time. He's
Yeah.
all the time stressed. You
Yeah.
make the point, is he really living? These guys have it worse than the ones that they don't have money.
Yeah.
Because they understand for their willingness of just having more money or the
Yeah.
same money or keeping it going all the time. They're giving
Yeah.
up so much. And
Yeah.
just imagine for them to think for the ones that their business is going to fail or something like that. And they're going, God forbids, they're going to be normal people like you and I.
Oh yeah.
For them, it's death, basically.
I know.
It's
I
dying.
know.
It's a horrible thing.
To be
Okay.
normal. Yeah.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
So detach yourself. I'm not saying money is bad. It's such a difficult energy to understand. Of course, we all need it. Without money, we'll die of hunger. Yes, I agree. But also, you have to understand to put a perspective in your life,
Yeah.
to really fulfill your passions, your dreams.
Yeah.
Okay. And if that comes with money, that's perfect as well.
Yeah.
But for you, really, when I see, I know it's a series, it's not real life, but that happens, man. People are
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I had the chance not to meeting, but to see eye to eye the general director of General Electric. I used to work for General Electric, and
Ah.
he came to the plant I was working in Mexico. And it was when he changed to the current one, which is Jeff Immelt. And he was the director of the division I was part of, which was Medical Systems, it's called.
Ah.
The General Electric Medical Systems, GEMS. And he was the one taking over for, what's the name of the guy? The one before email is very well known. I don't know. I'm going to search him on Google when you talk.
Yeah.
But this guy was like, mate, probably 80 years old or something like that. And you're thinking, shouldn't you be with your grandchildren or something like that? And some of these people, it's not the fact, mate, that they work. Working is fine. My father is 79 and he's still working. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But what I try to share with him when I see him stressed is relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. If you want to make a little money, if you want to keep yourself occupied, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But when I see this series, I see people with a lot of money. We think that they're doing great, mate. But the ones with businesses and that, politicians and that, they're more stressed than you and I are.
Yeah. They call it driven, don't they? Driven.
They call it that. I don't see it as driven. I see it as you don't even know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're in the rock and you're closing your eyes. You're saying, I'm just in the rock, I'm fine. And you justify that I do it for my family. At the end, you do it for you, mate, when you're in those places. At the end, you do it also for you. Okay. There's an ego thing going on. I recently had a couple of shows on how horrific money can get, how the money can get on the Menendez brothers, which I believe that the money, love of money got them there.
Yeah.
Pietro Masso in Italy, that the money, love, a 19-year-old in love with money,
That's it. I think it's
drunken
kind of,
for money. Sorry?
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
go
like
ahead.
attachment, isn't it? It's like the Buddhists have got,
Attachment. Yes, sorry I
yeah,
interrupt you, but it's that, mate.
yeah,
Detach. Go to the
yeah.
sea. Go to the sea.
That's it.
Yeah.
Relax, get some perspective. But it's like there's a saying in Buddhist, I'm not sure if it's, I won't get it right in there, but if you think of a cartwheel, like a wooden cartwheel with spokes,
Mhm.
it's like life is, like we're the hub. We are the hub in the center, and all the spokes are activities. This is my analogy. It's not I took it from Buddhism, but I made my own thing up. But the spokes are like gambling. That's the gambling spoke. And some people go down it and right to the end and they get to the rim. And some go right over the edge and that's their lot. They're finished. Or alcohol, that's another spoke. Or drugs is another spoke. You know, sex, violence, you name it. And there's all these spokes. And some people are fortunate enough to go through a lot of spokes. And they've done like most spokes. And they think, and they didn't go over the edge. They were lucky not to go over the edge. And they got back to the center and thought, oh, I'm still alive. Wow. Drinking didn't work. Gambling didn't work. All the other lot didn't work. So where am I now? I'm still at the centre. What do I do? Stay there. Stop going down spokes to try and fix your life or to make yourself feel better. And I found that when you go through enough spokes, you find there's nothing there for you. There's nothing in these spokes. It's just distraction from the hub. And then I think the lucky ones learn that and they stay at the centre and they stop grasping. They stop grasping after activity and something to make them feel complete. And they stay at the center and they accept life, whatever happens. And whatever the day brings, they're okay with it. And that's being at the hub, the self, staying in connection with the present. And I think that's my way of answering that guy fixated on his job. And all these people, whatever the spokes they're on, they're not the answer. The spokes are not the answer. It's the hub in the center where you are in the present moment. And it might sound boring because the present isn't always excitement. It isn't always joyful or amazing, but it's true. It's the reality, you know? So that's my little two penneth. The spokes are just activity, this distraction, you know? And people, if they've got, they get grace and they learn that, they're fortunate. But some just carry on one thing after another and crash and burn. You know what I mean? They never seem to stop chasing, which is the problem.
Yes, and I sometimes made with this. I think, for example, with drinking, is it okay to drink a few beers? It depends how it affects you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people say, no, you have one beer, you are lowering your vibration. It's an exaggeration, okay? With gambling, I remember when casinos started here in my city, I'm talking 2008, 2009. Our children were small, so I remember we used to go to my parents or my parents-in-law, depends. And they were so small babies and that they will take them for the Saturday, for example. So you guys go out or something, my wife and I. So I remember we'll go to casinos, but mate, not trying to be rich, not like that. Just
No,
trying to have
that's
a good
it.
time. Okay, play the
Yeah,
slots, or
yeah,
they will give you some food at the end. Whatever you spend is entertainment. Is basically same as going to dinner.
yeah,
But I remember you had to recharge an electronic card because they won't use money like in the US. It's here is with an electronic card. And so I remember in the line, one lady older than me, she was probably 50 at the time, was probably 35 or something like that. She said, how are you doing tonight? I'm saying, like in the gambling sense, I'm just having fun, right? I know I
that's it.
lost, but hey, it's something symbolic, really. I don't know,
Yeah,
20 pounds, 30 pounds, something like that. It's the same like going out to dinner, okay?
yeah,
So I'm gonna put a little bit more so I just get through the night. And she said, no, I lost a lot. And I have here the money for my children's school. Should I gamble it or not? And I said, no, you shouldn't.
uh,
This is my advice. You shouldn't.
yeah,
Just go home. Just
oh,
take
yeah,
your losses. So she
yeah,
was thinking of that, and she was in front of me, and she gets to the teller or something that will recharge the card. She gives everything. It was for her children's payment, for the month
Crazy.
of school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope she won,
Yeah.
but that's not the point.
No.
That's when gambling becomes like being an alcoholic, a drug
That's
addict,
it.
a sex
That's it.
addict,
Yeah.
or something like that. Of all the ones you mentioned, violence is the one that I don't embrace.
No. It's
Okay?
yeah.
It's something you just shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But having a little sex, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay, having a few beers, there's nothing wrong with that. Doing
Yeah.
a little gambling, if it's just for fun, if you're not using money that is for other responsibilities or important,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not making. It's not.
they're the
identified.
kind of pleasures we have in this reality, and if you learn how to deal with them,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
The problem is when it goes overboard and the pleasures control you, like this
That's
lady.
That's it.
She should just have to leave, take her losses, and don't
Yeah.
go for a couple of weeks or a month or something
Yeah.
like that, because she told me the amount. She had lost already an important amount. And she said, what I have here, this is not for gambling, this for what I need. She was obsessed that she had to remake the money. And I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, that's what that
Chase it.
casino wants, for you to be
Yeah.
chasing it.
That's it.
The casino always wins. Come here and have a good time. Have a set amount.
Yeah.
That's what we did, my wife and I. She had a set amount. I remember my wife on bad nights, she would tell me, give me a little more. And I said, no, let's go home. We lost already this very basic amount. We
Yeah.
had a good time. It's time to go
That's
home.
it.
If we keep chasing, if we start, then we're going to become real gamblers and it's going to be a problem.
That's it. That's it.
And
You become attached, don't you? Attached to it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, remember when we were talking about alcohol, having 1 beer, 2 beers, but
Yeah.
then the 6th one will become the 9th one, the 12th one, and suddenly you're drinking
Yeah.
30. That's a
Yeah.
problem. That's
That's
a
it.
problem. Okay, because one thing is to enjoy yourself, and very different thing is for things to control you. Same
Yeah.
with Pietro Masso, for example. It's very clear what happened to him. He was inflated with this life of
Yeah.
being from this very small town, being like a king.
Sure.
Everyone will know him in streets and, oh, Pietro is coming, oh, Pietro, like,
Yeah.
but that took a lot of money of that image to keep that
Yeah.
inflated, like pumping it
Ego.
all the way that he said, the only way to keep it going is to kill my parents and inherit the money.
Crazy. See, that's an image in his head, isn't it? The ego is just a collection of ideas and thoughts about yourself. I'm this, I'm that. And these people that go too far have an image of their self that is, they need to maintain it. They need to feed it, fuel this beast, this self-importance, so that they're above other people. And that's where the mind takes over. And once it's got a grip on the person becomes the puppet, as opposed to just letting life be. If you're too attached to your activities and your specialness, quotes, the ego, you've lost it. And I think that's what life is. It's a battle of discovering what you are and what you're not. It's literally that. It's once you find out what you are, you can only do that by knowing what you're not. And that's Ed Vital as well. But to know who you are, first you need to know what you're not. And that's everything else. And that's ego. That's the fight we're in, mate. That's the battle. To detach from the thoughts and accept life, accept real life of what is now, because this is all we have. There is no past and future here. It's only now. And it's always now. Wherever you are, it's always now. And I think that's the battle for each individual, to stop chasing this and running away from the present, because it doesn't allow the source to come through. It doesn't allow the source to influence us. And that is it. That's it, mate. The battle is the mind and the present. And it is a terrible thing when you see people addicted to things and suffering, but they can't snap out of their attachment. They can't see what they're doing, and they're always right. And it is the ego. It's crazy.
Yes, it is. And I believe also the lesson here with Dr. Greenberg, this whole concept of connecting to this, again, the explanation is beyond for me. Is it a neural energy field? Or for me, it's just icing in the cake. it's connected to the everything, connected to source, okay?
Yeah.
The creation of everything.
Yeah.
It's understanding that, as you say, we have the moment right now, okay?
Mm.
Again, this is very easily misconstrued as, okay, so you are suggesting I don't care about the future, so I don't care if I have money tomorrow to feed my kids. No. I'm saying that you let the future in a way, I mean, you prepare and all that, but some people are all the way into the future. I met people that are all the way 20 years ahead. So when I retire, I'm gonna travel the world,
Yeah.
and that's gonna happen. Who knows? Maybe you die before.
Yeah.
How about you
Possible.
make a little plan if you're really into traveling? Start making plans, and maybe it's gonna work, and you do it before 20 years. But it's all the pushing, okay?
Yeah.
And some people are very into the past. Oh, when I was in high school, I was so popular, so nice, I was so thin, I was so whatever, and I had a lot of girlfriends. It's the past. It's
Yeah.
great, but it's not here
Oh,
anymore. Okay.
that's it.
And also bad things. Oh, we have said this before, the victim mentality. Oh, I was abused.
Yeah.
You have one choice only. Leave it behind. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave it in the past.
Yeah.
Because right now, by remembering it every day that you were abused, that you were tortured, that you were suffered trauma, you are the one suffering, not the one that created the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that
That's
person
it.
is even better than you. Okay.
Yeah.
But for victims, you have one choice and one choice only, which is forgetting. I'm not saying forgiving, which is a different thing. You
Yeah.
don't need to have a good relationship with your assailant or tormentor. Okay. But forget the whole thing. Leave
Yeah.
it in the past.
Yeah.
That's how you clear trauma. Okay.
Yeah.
So the past is the past, the future is the future. What do you really have, mate? The now.
Now, yeah. Carl Jung had a saying, he had a quote, people don't have ideas, ideas have people. And that's, I came up with, people don't have stories, stories have people. And for some reason, I found out Carl Jung's quote afterwards, but it's literally the same quote. Yeah, it's the ideas that have us hostage, you know? We're held hostage by our ideas, and they keep us in the future and the past, which, get rid of the ideas and be free from them. Be free. Enjoy your life. Stop being held hostage by these storylines and expectations. And I deserve better. I'm entitled to this.
No.
I should, I should have that. Why has he got it and I haven't? Why has she got this and I haven't? Forget the ideas. Live your own
Competition.
life. Competition.
Comparison.
In comparison, exactly. And all that does is make you miserable because you're comparing and seeing what you don't have instead of looking at what you do have and appreciating it. So, yeah, it's the ideas that are the problem, and attaching to a path, a spoke on the wheel, and thinking that's going to make you full, complete. It's going to make you a person. No. Treat them lightly. Treat them as enjoyment. Don't fixate on them. All these spokes are attachments, possible attachments. They're just for enjoyment. Always stay at the hub. Always be present and get perspective, like you said, on your life. You need the perspective to know when you're doing 16 hours a day, you need to know that's too much, and snap out of it. Get some balance. And it's an individual thing, people's lives are their own. And we can only plant seeds, we can only speak our own truth and hope people listen. That's all I hope. I'm not saying they have to follow me, but it's worked for me. That's my experience. So too much thinking, too many ideas and stories is what hold us hostage. And I think you can never find yourself if the stories are in the way. We're beneath the stories. We are to be found yet, and that's just my little piece of advice for people. The idea is a barrier to who you are. So yeah, and the source will guide them, will guide all of us when we stop having all the answers. When we put away our answers, put them down and sweep them away and say, right, I'm open. What's life got for me? And you live it in the moment. But yeah, I think source is always here. It's whether we want to listen. You know, that's what I would put it at. Getting philosophical here.
No, that's great, mate.
Getting,
And I wanted to say I had to Google it, but I really want to mention that the person I was talking about is Jack Welch. I don't know if you've heard of him.
yeah, rings a bell.
Jack Welch, General Director of General Electric before Jeff Immelt, which is the current director.
Okay.
That was the year 2000. I remember it properly. 2000, early 2001. I actually left the company a couple of weeks later to go to
Yeah.
Finland, which I've shared that experience, remember,
Yes.
with my, at the time, girlfriend, which I met there at that job. Now wife, my wife.
Yeah.
Yes, they were making the switch and doing some traveling around. But for me, what struck me is even before that, when I got in and Jack Welch was the director, and we'll get videos. He started using through the intranets and that messages from that director and that struck me that as this series I was talking about, sometimes we're so caught up in our lives in this attachment to this reality. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying enjoying this life is bad. Please understand me. It's the attachment. It's the attachment. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you detach, you're truly free. When you detach, you're truly free. That's why I'm 1,000% sure Dr. Jacobo Greenberg achieved something very difficult to do, which is 100% detachment and 100% attachment to source, 100% attachment to that unity consciousness.
Okay.
To the
Yeah.
lattice, as he called it. So then you call the shots, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go to another plane. I want to go to another dimension. I want to go back in time. I want to go forward in time. I'm going to go to another timeline. I'm going to create a universe. Remember when I started this that I say the anti-universe? I think it's episode 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone, just one person, sent me an email saying you really are batshit crazy. He said, we can create universe. Yes. Because the creator, the everything, is so beautiful that gave that power to all of us to come at the right time as we uncover that you shouldn't do it. You have the power to go through time, but you shouldn't do it. What you do with that, mate, is you just create thousands of timelines, okay? And at the end, they're going to converge into what was supposed to happen anyway. Do you know what that's what? And
I'm not
these,
familiar with timelines. I'm not that clued up on them.
they create, just imagine you create all these possibilities, and then they start to converge on the possibility that was going to happen anyway. So then you understand that, yes, travel through time is trivial to Dr. Greenberg, but he's not going to abuse it.
He's merged with source.
Yes. He went to another plane, I think, and he dissolved from this reality. Have you heard of the story of the Mayans, that they went as a civilization somewhere else? They say they were abducted by aliens, same as Dr. Greenberg, by the way, because it's a very, okay, so they took his body somewhere else. No, you can dissolve. You can say, I'm not in this dimension anymore. I'm not in this reality. I want to go X place. And you go. But you have to achieve that connection. Same with the healer Pachita. She achieved a connection that said, okay, I need a new lung here, and the lung will appear. Yeah, I know for us it's magic, it's impossible, it's Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to say it's a hoax. Yes, it's not reproducible in a lab. I understand, it's nothing like that.
There's no money in it either.
There's no money in that either. Yes, that's okay, man. Remember, we have to behave because
sure. Of course.
Remember that. Okay?
Oh,
we
have
to behave. We have to behave.
Sorry.
All right, mate. Great show. Do you have anything for us in closing?
No, I enjoyed it, mate. Really good. Again, always enjoy it. But yeah, I just see it as source is the infinite creator, the source itself, which is the emptiness. And when we think, we block it. We block that influence, that power, that peace, that joy. So yeah, don't think, feel, be in the present. And I think we are source. We've just condensed into a sort of an ice cube, a solid ice cube, rather than be the water. So we need to relax. News come out now. Relax and be more in tune with stillness and acceptance of what is and not what the mind wants. Stop being a servant of the mind and accept what life's giving us. Yeah, that's all I'd say.
That's great advice, mate. We're gonna continue saying it because so many things we say, mate, will be taken out of context or wrong. Stop being a servant of the mind. The mind is not the
Yeah.
boss. The mind is a tool. If I had to put an analogy or a metaphor, it's like a computer. A computer could do great things. It could
Yeah.
do its job. And also the computer with a virus could be a weapon.
Yeah.
Could get into your bank details, steal money,
Yeah.
bother others with spam, with connecting to their systems. Yes, through
Right.
your computer. Okay.
Yeah.
So the mind weaponized is what you should avoid. How do you remove the weapon from the mind? It's never going to dictate you. Here, the
Yeah.
wisdom of all the universe, as Dr. Wimber used to call it, your
Yeah.
connection
That's
to
it.
that. I'm not saying we're going to achieve what he was able to achieve. It was a lifetime work, okay?
Yeah.
Lifetime work. Pachita passed away in 1979, and Dr. Greenberg disappeared in 1994, and he met Pachita really in 1976, 77. So that's when he changed, really. It was a 20-year war, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Really dedicated. He was also, I mean, for everyone that hasn't watched the 4-episode series, I'm not saying I'm a great producer, but I try my best to give you 4 20-minute shows on the different sides of the life of Dr. Greenberg, but especially on the one on Pachita. The amazing part, as you say, is he did stop listening to his mind. I'm sure his mind was telling him, this is BS. There's an explanation for this. This is impossible. She is using something like the Filipino guy that was using, pate in there. And oh my God, here is that organ, that and this. It was just a hoax. It was just, But how amazing, mate, that you are a scientist at heart, that you have been, I don't know, he was in his 20s, maybe when he met her, 30s or something.
Yeah.
Because when he disappeared, he was 48. So let's say 26, 28.
Yeah.
And for you, mate, to have that humility to say, I don't understand that, but there's something here. Okay.
That's it. That's a good character. Yes, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. It was another great show. As we're discussing on the celebration show, we of course want to have a mixed bag of shows and that. There were some shows that, I know, we discussed a few things, but some of our shows, mate, are really, really gems that are going to stay there. Okay. That it's for you, viewer of the channel. Yeah. Just go and sort by Tony, and you're going to be able to find all the chats with Tony. And there are some that are going to be like this. This is one of our best shows, I think, by the way, 2 days.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
Thank
you
very much.
I felt it was good.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And fits perfectly with the 4-episode series I made on Dr. Wimber. It's really a great continuation. And so I really, really thanks for bringing this topic up.
Yeah, no problem.
So, mate, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website, www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.